All right, let's talk about building a system. But I'm not talking about organizing your files or your crazy schedule. No, this is about building a system for your own mind. A system that's designed to help you learn something once and actually remember it for life.
So, does this sound familiar? You just finished an amazing book, right? You spent hours with it, you felt like you really got it, and then, just a week later, poof, it's gone. The main ideas, the cool details, they just vanish. It's super common, and man, is it frustrating.
So what's the real culprit here? Well, it's that thing we all do, that default habit, passive rereading. You know, just running your eyes over the page again and again. It feels productive, but the science is clear. It's one of the absolute worst ways to build a strong memory. So it's time to ditch that and get a better system, one that actually works.
Okay, so before we build our new system, we've got to know what we're up against. We have to understand the enemy. And believe it or not, this enemy actually has a name. It's called the forgetting curve.
Now, this isn't about you having a bad memory. It's not a personal failing at all. It's just how our brains are wired. The crazy thing is, most forgetting happens fast, like within the first 1 to 3 days. So to fight this, you have to actively recall the information. You've heard the saying, if you don't use it, you lose it? Well, it's literally true for memory. And this whole system we're about to build, it's designed to force you to use it.
So how do we actually fight this thing? Well, it all comes down to one single powerful idea. Honestly, this is the light bulb moment that changes the entire game.
And here it is. This is the single most important thing you need to get. You remember by retrieving, not by rereading. Memory isn't built by just pouring more information in, it's built by pulling information out. Every single time you force your brain to remember a fact, you're strengthening that connection. It's like doing a rep at the gym for your brain. It's a workout.
Okay, theory is great, but let's put this into practice. The whole process kicks off the second you open a book. We're going to transform reading from this passive thing you do into a totally active, engaged process.
So here's the game plan, step by step. First, before you read a single word of the chapter, just skim the headings and turn them into questions for yourself. This gets your brain ready. It primes it to hunt for the answers. Step 2, while you're reading, use some simple little marks, an exclamation point, a question mark. Just please don't be that person who highlights the entire page. And third, and this is my favorite part, is what we call the blurt. You close the book, no peeking, and you just blurt out everything you remember onto a piece of paper. This is your very first retrieval workout, and it's amazing because it shows you exactly what stuck and what didn't.
All right, so you've actively engaged with the material. Now it's time to take that raw information and forge it into something that's going to last. We're going to build some durable memory tools.
So, we're going to create 3 specific things. Think of them as memory objects. First, you'll make about 10 to 20 really simple flashcards, and the key is just one idea per card. Then, you're going to draw one simple visual, maybe a diagram or a little mind map that shows how things connect. And last, you'll come up with one great analogy, like a little story that ties the main ideas together. Let's look at an example to make this real.
Okay, so imagine we're learning about something like photosynthesis. A good flashcard is not a giant wall of text. No way. It's a clean, simple question and a straight-to-the-point answer. This is that one idea per card rule in action. It's simple, it's super easy to test yourself with, and it forces you to retrieve just that one specific piece of information.
Next up is your visual. And listen, you do not have to be an artist for this. It doesn't need to be a masterpiece. Just look at this. It's a super simple sketch of a chloroplast. The real power here isn't the art. It's showing the relationships between the different parts, the flow of energy. You're basically drawing a map of the concept for your brain.
And finally, we've got the analogy. This is where you make abstract stuff feel really concrete and easy to grab onto. So what if we think of photosynthesis as a factory? Suddenly, the thylakoids are like the factory's solar panels, creating energy. And the stroma? That's the assembly line, using that energy to build the final product. See? All of a sudden, this complex biological thing feels kind of simple, right? It's intuitive, and it sticks.
Okay, so you've done the active reading. You've built your awesome memory objects. But we're not done. This final phase, this is what makes it all permanent. This is how we make it stick for good.
And this is the secret sauce, your spaced repetition schedule. You're going to test yourself with your flashcards and your visual and your analogies, but at very specific times. You test yourself on day 1, then day 3, then a week later, and so on. See how the gaps between reviews get wider and wider? That's on purpose. The timing is perfectly designed to catch you right before you're about to forget, and it just pushes that information deeper and deeper into your long-term memory.
And let's bring it back to that core idea one more time.
Every single one of these review sessions is a test. It's an active retrieval. You are not just passively looking at your notes, okay? You are actively pulling the information out of your brain. That is the workout. That's what builds the muscle.
So, in a nutshell, this is the entire shift we're making. We're throwing out those old, ineffective habits. So, out with passive rereading and in with active self-testing. Out with highlighting everything in sight and in with the blurt method. And we're saying goodbye to cramming and hello to smart, spaced retrieval. It's a total move from just kind of hoping it all sticks to actually making it stick.
All right, so we've covered the problem, that pesky forgetting curve. We've talked about the core idea, retrieval, and we've walked through the 3 phases. So now, let's wrap it all up into a simple toolkit that you can use for literally anything you want to learn.
And here it is, your final toolkit. Think of this as your go-to checklist for anything you want to truly master for life. It takes you right from the beginning, priming your brain with questions, all the way to what I think is the ultimate test of knowledge, the teach back. Seriously, if you can explain it simply to someone else, you don't just know it, you own it. This is your game plan.
So, there you have it. You have the tools. You have the system. The only question left is, what are you going to learn first? What's that one thing you want to stop renting for a few days and actually own for the rest of your life? Go make it yours.